So Ray, what did you find?
All right, so Chris has found an incredible trilobite. Prying apart the back, another nice, nearly full trilobite. What used to be a creek is now a gushing waterfall. So it looks like we are not going to be collecting at site number 2.
It's right there. That's the old Petrified Creatures Museum. What's left of it? Yes. So we are passing the remains of what used to be the Petrified Creatures Museum of Natural History. I used to love this place. This is the place that many years ago first got me interested in fossil collecting. Unfortunately, there's not very much of it left now. The owner, John Milletz, used to be very interested in this place. He was sort of kept it going for years and years, even if after Highway 90 came and people no longer took Route 20 as much. This place was past its peak, but the owner, the late John Milletz, unfortunately, who passed away, loved this place and kept it going. And for a long time, I used to love to take my kids here. It eventually made me become a scientist, rekindled my interest in science, leading me to become a science teacher and professor and fossil hunter.
So once again, here it is, the place that brings back many happy memories, but unfortunately is gone.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, king of the dinosaurs. I'm the meanest and largest of all of the carnivores. I eat meat and love to chase these other dinosaurs. Be careful, I'll have you for a small snack. You're lucky my back is killing me today. I hope you're around tomorrow. Ah!
So farewell to the Petrified Creatures Museum of Natural History. It was a roadside attraction from 1939 up until its final closing in 2016. Really hadn't changed much. It looks like it's always been the same, never really updated. Hadn't kept up with the science, but it was a really good place to get people interested in science in the first place. And I think it was the inspiration for, we went to Disney World in the Animal Kingdom. We saw their dino section, and it had one of these, sort of a pseudo roadside attraction fossil place called, I believe it was Hester and Chester's or something like that. And my guess is it was inspired based upon roadside attractions like the Petrified Creatures Museum or other ones throughout the country.
So we were planning to come here for day 2, but it rained a bit, and what used to be a creek is now a gushing waterfall. So it looks like we are not going to be collecting at site number 2. The fossils themselves are mostly underwater. So even though it's raining hard and the river is high, we decided to go with it.
I'm just giving you my thoughts. That and the Mongolian buffet is out because it's not open on that.
You guys are down in one. I was thinking of going out to Kennedy also, but I can't.
No.
All right, so Chris has found an incredible trilobite. It's could be an isotylus. It's a little bit hard to tell. We're looking at something very pale. If it is, it might be immature, or it might be something else. Let me just focus in.
Well, it is Ordovician. Yeah.
So on this trip, I'm also trying very hard to keep my phone dry. That's a beautiful trilobite.
Well, there's a couple of species.
So Ray, what did you find?
Nothing. Piece of the trilobite. Nice big head, piece of the body, piece of another body. All kinds of neat stuff.
There you go. All right, well you just gotta find a full one now.
Right.
All right, Mike, what'd you get?
I got a very nice rock. For anybody who really needs one.
There you go. Anybody who has a porch or a stoop.
Actually, well, what? I might take that home. Take this corner off. I don't know, it's not really flat.
You just gotta take the trilobite off, right? And dig the nest.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so Mike is showing us his finds. Oh yes, this is the one that Mac found yesterday. Probably an isotylus.
I would think so.
Yeah, what'd you get today? There we go. All right, so here's a nice body of a trilobite.
Really good. See that goes in there.
Oh.
A little pyritized.
Oh yes, so trilobite with pyrite, a mineral on it.
This one is. Oh, that's that tail. Remember that tail that led to your find?
Oh
there?
yes, look at that. Nice
That's
isotylus.
Pointed us in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got a shot of those.
Oh yes, many graptolites. All right, so how high is the water now? Awesome. So is the ground.
So you could actually dig over there.
Okay. There's a tree up there that fell down earlier because of all the rain and the mudslide.
Yeah, I can start a thing right here.
Put the big one up there.
Big one's under.
Put this big one under.
Yeah, but the seam end's right there. That's what I'm saying. And the seam end's right there. So we're trying to peel a long, narrow thing from the narrow end.
I put out all the pieces from that I've collected on day 2 of our trip going up the creek, and as you can see, there's some nice trilobite showing, but it's a bit dirty. This one has a lot of trilobite heads and a body, and I can see some of this actually going underneath a layer here and also going under this layer here as well. If I can split these layers and still manage to keep most of the trilobites together, this could be an awesome piece. Another trilobite over here, a few more other trilobites and other things that I pulled out and put aside.
Some of them have cephalopods, which are not quite as easy to see, but I'll be bringing you into those as I work on those. So I'm going to start working on these. I'll bring you in as some interesting items are revealed. Hopefully there'll be some nice stuff to show you. This piece over here is really cool. Lots of graptolites right near a vein of crystal that cross-cut the rock at some later period. Basically the rock split, and when there was some rock with quartz above it, eventually seeped into the crack there and made a nice quartz seam over the much older graptolite fossils. There's a matching half to this with even more of the quartz seam. So when I clean this up, this should be a pretty interesting fossil of these graptolites with the quartz. This one I'm not sure how aesthetic it's going to be, but we have a remains of a cephalopod here, and actually the matching half of it on this rock over here. Not terribly aesthetic, but that is a cephalopod. I do have a different one over here that's a bit more well defined. You can actually see the different segments of that cephalopod. And here is actually another species, also a cephalopod, but a different species that we're looking at. This rock has a trilobite, missing the back section unfortunately, but it looks like the head section is going to be going into the rock. So I'm going to very carefully try and lift the material around the front part of this trilobite, and who knows, there might be a nice cephalon or a nice head section of the trilobite in this rock. I'm going to be saving one of the best pieces for last. This piece has trilobites showing up on both sides of it, and also a lot of graptolites as well. And what I'm going to do is break and work on the other parts first, and once I'm very used to this rock and working with it, and I'll try and split this without damaging the fossils that are already showing. So here are all the fossils ready to get prepped. Over here, looks like a layer that has a whole bunch of trilobite parts. My thoughts are there's probably more in there. I see a little crack on the side. I'm going to try and put something thin in there and see if I can expand the crack a little more.
Did it break?
Alright, so there is a lot of trilobite bits and pieces in there. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much as I wanted in the first break, but we're off to a good start. Here's another big piece with a lot of trilobite heads in it. Head here, nice body section there, head, another one. I'm going to try and keep all this together, but I'm going to try and separate the back. Back is pretty thick and looks like there might be an existing crack I might be able to open. I'm going to try and pry that up because this looks like a very promising rock. Could have a lot more inside it. I'm holding this rock somewhat elevated because I want it to vibrate. The vibrations actually help separate the rock more. I can see the crack getting bigger, which is good. Crack is going right through, one side to the other, just what I want. Getting a little bit thin here. I don't want to lose any of this. I'm a little bit concerned over here. I don't want to lose that one other head there, but not bad really. think it's safe to try and split this. And it's pretty much apart. Wow! Look at all those trilobite pieces. I'm really excited. There's lots and lots of bits of trilobite in this piece. So this is what's known as a death assemblage. For some reason, oh, actually it might not even be a death assemblage, because I don't see full ones here. I see just heads and tails. So for some reason, a lot of molted sections were ending up in this pocket of silt. Lots and lots of pieces of these trilobites. No, I don't see any whole ones, so it doesn't look like a death assemblage. It looks like an area where a lot of molts happen to accumulate. So now I'm just taking a closer look at this assemblage. 3 trilobite heads right here. 4th, maybe a 5th, 6th, tail, big one right over here, another one here, partial over here. Just a lot of trilobites on this piece. Here again is the death assemblage as I've been prying apart the back. Another nice, nearly full trilobite. Unfortunately, the head is not showing. Probably a molt. We will have to see, but this is a fabulous rock. At this point, my picnic table is crawling with trilobites and some cephalopods, and I still have a long way to go. So finally, we're up to this really big piece. This is the one that I pulled out of the river because I saw trilobites right on the surface. Also, has a couple of cracks. I broke off part of this while I was at the site, and that turned out to be the layer that had that whole assemblage of molts on it. So this could be loaded with fossils. There's already a nice crack started over here, and I'm going to kind of gently knock around kind of far from that to see if I can get the crack to expand. And if I'm really lucky, I might get that same layer where all the molts were last time. Alright, the crack is well formed. I'm going to get some smaller tools now. Oh, breaking apart. Not what I wanted. Looks a little bit delicate here near the fossils, so I'm going to go a little bit deep here. Don't want it to break near the surface. It seems to want to do that. Alright, looks like it is coming apart now, and luckily, even though it's starting to get a little bit choppy beneath the fossils, looks like they're all going to come off together. Alright, that did not go the way I wanted it to. I wanted to try and keep all these fossils together. Much better when they're together. Might be able to patch that back together again. Looks like there's a nice trilobite under here too. Alright, seeing some trilobite heads and body parts on this. Looks like it's probably the good layer. It had lots of potential, but it just basically gave me one partial trilobite. One or two of the original that I found on there, less the part that broke off. And that's about it. So the best find was the plate that was absolutely covered with trilobite parts on both sides, plus it had a nice big one on the back. Alright, let's wrap up by taking a look at this pyritized cephalopod from day one. Now pyritized, well, you can tell it's pyritized from the eye patch and the use of R. I'm just kidding, of course. Pyritized means that it has turned to fool's gold, the material that gives it that shiny gold color, as it fossilized over time. Although the cephalopod, if it was big enough, could have been a sea monster in a pirate movie. And the other thing I like to show you is this nice slab that has 4 trilobites on it. 2 on top of each other over here. We have another fairly large one. It's partly covered by the rock, but I can easily work that one out. And another one on the edge. So 4 partially complete trilobites on one slab. And of course I have that other beautiful one. This one and the matching half that's in a rock that has a whole molting assemblage on the other side with about 9 or 10 partial trilobites on it. So awesome day, both 1 and 2, in these flooded but really fun creeks collecting fossils with my friends. Thank you very much. Once again, if you like fossils, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, but we'll make more fossil videos pop up in the YouTube feed. Thank you for all my supporters. Thank you very much for my fossil collecting friends who shared these sites with me this weekend. Till next time, happy hunting.